Joining us now with reactions, the man challenging Governor Brown, California GOP gubernatorial candidate, John Cox. Mr. Cox, thanks so much for being here tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Katie. Great to be with you.
So how do you explain this anarchy in California? It seems like things are falling apart at the seams. The government in Sacramento is being pushed back on, rightfully, by these local communities. How are you going to change this if you win the governorship?
I applaud Orange County. I applaud my home county of San Diego for standing up against this. I mean, this is typical of the politicians who are running the state into the ground, Katie. Their first job ought to be to keep the residents of this state safe. I'm getting involved. I'm leading the charge to talk to other counties as well around the state about standing up for this, because the voters elect their county and state officials to protect them. That's the first the first job of government is to do that. And the idea that Jerry Brown picks Easter weekend to pardon people that have committed crimes and were let out of jail very recently, Katie. Right. This isn't like these are people that served their time 30 years ago and have been upstanding members of the community. Quite the contrary. A lot of these crimes were committed in 2003, 2004, 2005, and they've recently gotten out of jail. I mean, they're a threat to the community, and they're illegal aliens, and the government in this state ought to act to protect the people of this state. I'm a businessman, just like President Trump. I solve problems. I think the president's trying to solve a problem here and keep people safe. Solving the problem,
you talk about speaking to all of these voters in California, but clearly they're electing people who believe in these sanctuary city policies. So when you're traveling around to certain parts of California, what are you hearing directly from people on the ground there? What are they saying to you about these sanctuary laws? I know polling shows that Californians don't want to be a sanctuary state. However, these politicians keep getting reelected in these blue counties to pass laws that make it easy for criminals and violent people to get away from law enforcement.
Well, the people are rising up. I applaud the mayor of Escondido, Sam Abed. He's a friend of mine. The people are making their voices known to this, Katie. They're concerned. I mean, look at what Kate Steinle's parents went through. There's a young woman in Sonoma County that's dead because the sheriff there didn't inform ICE when they released a dangerous person out into the population. I mean, this can't happen. The people of this state have been beaten down by the majority party in this state. We have the highest poverty rate. We have more people on welfare than any other state in the country. Our business climate is horrendous. Our quality of life is suffering, Katie. We're 50th out of 50 for crying out loud. I think the people are going to rise up and continue this backlash all the way through November. They want better management. They're going to get it. I'm going to change this state. We're going to turn it around, and we're going to make it livable.
If you win, which it would be nice for a Republican to win in that state, just given the track record of Democrats for the last couple of decades, what exactly are you planning to do to work with the federal government to reverse this trend of criminal aliens operating in California, cartel members operating in cities across that state? How are you going to actually approach that? Not from a talking points perspective, but from an actual managerial perspective of changing that perspective.
I'm going to be meeting with every law enforcement agency in the state about working together. That's what the people do when they vote.
Right.
Absolutely. They want our public officials to work together, federal and state, hand in glove. I'm going to do that as the governor of this state. And I think that's what the people want. They don't want all this anger and resentment stirred up. They want the law enforced. It's the rule of law that makes this state and this country different, Katie. You know that.
Yep, absolutely. Well, John Cox, thank you very much.